Hello, everyone. I'm Tanya Rivero. Thank you for joining us. The 8th Democratic presidential debate is over. 7 candidates took the stage in Manchester, New Hampshire, just days before the state's primary election. Recent polls there show Senator Bernie Sanders and former South Bend, Indiana Mayor Pete Buttigieg in a tight race. They come from different ideological wings of the Democratic Party. Those contrasts were on full display throughout Friday night's debate. It started with discussions on issues such as health care and foreign policy, but candidates also talked about their past experience and the impeachment of President Trump. They also tackled topics including criminal justice reform, the opioid crisis, and abortion access. Here is some of what you might have missed.
Took a hit in Iowa, and I'll probably take a hit here.
America, it's great to be back on the debate stage. I'm so excited. I want to give every American $1,000 a month.
Donald Trump lies all the time. Doesn't matter what Donald Trump says. It's a sad state of affairs. It really is.
He is a symptom of a disease that has been building up in our communities for years and decades. And it is our job to get to the harder work of actually curing the disease. Our community's way of life is disintegrating beneath our feet.
Is he going to be more of a crook now that he believes he can get away with anything? Of course he is. But the job of the people on this stage is to beat him in November. And that's going to be based on what we can deliver for the American people.
I think no one is above the law, and that includes the President of the United States. This is about our government. This is about our democracy. This is about our future.
Colonel Vindman got thrown out of the White House today, walked out. I think we should, and at the same time, he should be pinning a medal on Vindman and not on Rush Limbaugh. Stand up and clap for Vindman. Get up there. Who we are. That's who we are. We are not what Trump is.
But what you said, Pete, as you were campaigning through Iowa, as 3 of us were jurors in that impeachment hearing, you said it was exhausting to watch and that you wanted to turn the channel and watch cartoons. It is easy to go after Washington because that's a popular thing to do. It is much harder to lead and much harder to take those difficult positions.
When our nominee is dividing people with a politics that says if you don't go all the way to the edge, it doesn't count. A politics that says it's my way or the highway.
Are you talking about Senator Sanders?
Yes, because we've got to bring as many people as we can into this process.
Is anyone else on the stage concerned about having a Democratic socialist at the top of the Democratic ticket?
Bernie and I work together all the time, but I think we are not going to be able to outdivide the divider-in-chief.
Nobody wants to work with him. He got nothing done. Senator Klobuchar, you serve with Senator Sanders in the Senate. Is he going to be able to get the support? Not if you like him, but is he going to be able to get the support that he needs from Republicans?
Okay. We're the Democrats. We should be the party on the side of hardworking people. And we can bring in independents and Republicans on that.
I don't know what about the past of Barack Obama and Joe Biden was so bad. What happened? What is it that he wants to do away with? We were just beginning.
Those achievements were phenomenally important because they met the moment. But now we have to meet this moment.
Going after every single thing that people do because it's popular to say and makes you look like a cool newcomer. I don't think that's what people want right now. We have a newcomer in the White House, and look where it got us. I think having some experience is a good thing.
The bottom line is nobody sees a solution to this war. Nobody can describe what winning looks like. All they can describe is endless war. I want to hear the plan. Not just we need it now, we need it for the next day, we need it for the 6 months, and I want to know where our allies are. It can't just be the United States waging endless war.
64 of our heroes were wounded. I don't know what I would have done if my son were still there. I would have been so damn angry, I don't know what I would have done. But here's what happened. They received traumatic brain injury. What did the president say? He said, headaches. Not bad. Headaches. That's all they are. This guy doesn't deserve to be commander-in-chief for one more day.
Some of the highlights there of tonight's debate. Let's go now to the spin room, where Caitlin Huey-Burns, Lynda Tran, and Ed O'Keefe are standing by. Caitlin is a CBSN political reporter. Lynda is a CBSN political contributor and Democratic strategist. And Ed is a CBS News political correspondent. Welcome to all of you. Ed, let me begin with you. What moments stood out to you tonight? We're hearing a lot about Amy Klobuchar. I mean, she's certainly getting a lot of Twitter love. Would you consider her one of the winners of tonight's debate?
I mean, nobody really screwed up tonight, and nobody really leveled a lethal punch either, for that matter. So I don't know. I mean, normally the New Hampshire primary is the one where there's some big decisive turning point. We remember Barack Obama telling Hillary Clinton she was likable enough. Ronald Reagan back in the day telling the moderators to let other guys on stage. Marco Rubio and Chris Christie.
Not always in a good direction.
Exactly. But there didn't really seem to be anything like that tonight. I mean, obviously, Pete Buttigieg got a lot more scrutiny and got a lot more airtime, given the fact that he is essentially tied with Bernie Sanders, at least in the delegate count out of Iowa. And he had, I think, a little more of an opportunity, probably, especially on a national broadcast network, to explain himself, introduce himself possibly to people who were tuning in, and just realize now that he actually is a major factor in this race. And not only had a chance to contrast and compare himself with Vice President Biden, but also to defend him quite passionately there when he was asked about the Hunter Biden investigations that Republicans would like to launch. So,
yeah, he did.
Pretty good night overall. But I know you two have thought a great deal about this as well, so by all means.
I actually think Joe Biden had one of the best performances that I've seen of him in these debates. He started with a really strange answer, almost conceding here in New Hampshire. He was asked about what happened in Iowa, and he admitted that, he didn't do well there, and he said he was unlikely to do well here. And he was citing that Bernie Sanders and Elizabeth Warren are from neighboring states. And so you kind of thought, well, was that the end of it? And I think he had some impassioned responses when he got the crowd to stand for Colonel Vindman. Was a really kind of a moment. So I think the Biden campaign that's looking to kind of fight back a bit, may have seen that from the former vice president tonight, considering that he does have a lot of ground to make up.
Yeah, he did have some strong moments. Lynda, who stood out for you? Was this a make moment for any of the campaigns, do you think?
Honestly, at this point, we're down to the final several, shall we put it, and the folks that are on stage, other than Joe Biden, for the most part, have had consistent debate performances, in my opinion. I mean, Elizabeth Warren did her usual, very good at breaking down complex policies in a way that felt human and felt really accessible. Amy Klobuchar, another person who I think has really actually been quite solid for many debates in a row. She frequently tells us that she gets a fundraising bump coming off of them. And the one to watch for me really was Joe Biden. And as Caitlin said, and Ed mentioned, he actually did quite well for the duration of the debate, other than that kind of strange concession.
Did the candidates do a good job differentiating themselves on the big issues, Lynda?
Well, I mean, that's the part that's where the rubber really meets the road. I mean, for the most part, I feel like they all kind of agree, other than the really obvious divide between the Medicare for all crowd and the Medicare for those who want it. Some of the discussion around the opioid crisis was also interesting. But the one person who seemed to be really trying to showcase that he was different from the rest of them was Tom Steyer. But other than that, I mean, mostly I think there's a lot less daylight between them than we've seen in the past.
All right, well, we will be checking in with you in just a bit. Caitlin Huey-Burns, Lynda Tran, and Ed O'Keefe, thanks so much.